Aaron was willing to be used by God to achieve his great task. Let's talk about Aaron and see how God used him and what were his shortcomings in today's Bible Banter. Welcome to today's Bible Banter. The Bible character that we are going to talk about today is Aaron. Now Aaron, we see in Bible when Moses was met by God, when God gave him a big task of freeing his people out of Egypt. So when Moses was talking to God, Moses said to God, God, I cannot talk to people. I'm not the man who can do that. And that is where we see Aaron coming into the history of Israel. So God told Moses to go and meet Aaron. Now Aaron was a known person to Moses because he was his cousin. But then God gave Aaron to Moses as his aid in his great task. Now there are so many things about Aaron that we read in Bible, but I would like to quickly point out a few highlights of his story in the Bible. Now Aaron was the spokesman of the spokesman chosen by God. So God wanted Moses to go and deal with Pharaoh and the situation and free all his people. But then since Moses was not able to speak, he asked Aaron to do it for Moses. So Aaron became a spokesman for Moses. And not only that, Aaron also performed miracles that God showed Moses when he was speaking with him. So Moses was very much there, but then Aaron did the talking and other bits when they went to see Pharaoh. Now Aaron was an important person in the whole history of Israel because he filled in the places where Moses was weak. Now, since he played such an important role, God did not replace Moses saying that, oh, you're not good for anything, but I'll choose Aaron as your leader. But then God still allowed Moses to be their leader and allowed Aaron to do what he was good in. About Aaron in Bible, we also see that he was appointed as the high priest for the people of Israel. Now this is an interesting story that we read in Numbers chapter 17. Now God asked Moses to take a staff of all the heads of the tribe and to keep these staff in the tent of meeting. And on all the staff they wrote down the names of the head. And Aaron was the head of the tribe of Levites. So then his staff was also kept in the tent of meeting. And the next day when Moses went to the tent of meeting, the Bible tells us that Aaron's staff had sprouted, budded, blossomed, and produced ripe almonds. So God gave a clear indication that God wanted Aaron to become the high priest for the people of Israel. The one who would offer sacrifices on behalf of his people to the Lord. The one who would be allowed to be in the most holy place in the temple. Aaron filled in the places where Moses was weak, and thus helping Moses in achieving the great task that Lord has given to him. But not only that, there was a completely other side to the story of Aaron. Now the Aaron who was one of the key leaders, who was given a great responsibilities, who was a co-leader with Moses, who was helping him, assisting him in all the things what God had asked them to do, had the other side to his personality. And one important aspect of his personality was that he couldn't take his own stand in circumstances where he had to take it. Now there are three such incidences where we see about Aaron, where he just gave in to peer pressure or people's pressure, or did something just because people wanted him to do. One such incident is seen in Exodus when God asked Moses to come and meet him on the mountain. Aaron was left in charge for the people of Israel. But the Bible tells us that Moses, was there on the mountaintop for about 40 days. And since people could not wait patiently, they demanded that they should make an idol. And instead of standing strong and reminding them of God's love for them, reminding them of God's command, he gave in to the pressure and did something that God never approved of. He asked people to collect all the golds, and they made a golden calf and worshipped the calf, the idol. Second incident that we see in the Bible, where he joined along with Miriam to blame Moses and question his authority as a leader. Now remember, Aaron was someone who had seen what God wanted Moses to do. He had seen his relationship with the Lord very closely. He knew the authority that Moses had, but still he joined along with Miriam in questioning his authority. Again, he couldn't make his own stand. Third such incident that we see is when Moses, out of his anger, instead of doing what God had asked him to do, went a little extra, and instead of just speaking to the rock, he hit the rock with his staff. And Aaron was right there with him. My dear friends, let me tell you, that little act of Aaron being there with the Moses stopped him from going to the land of Canaan. And we see that Aaron died even before they crossed the river that led them towards the land of Canaan. There are a few things that we learn from the story of Aaron. God wants us to use the skills that He has given us. God wants us to use the talents that He has given us to join along with others in achieving what God wants to do for His people. Now, as I said, God did not replace Moses as a leader. Moses was still a leader for people. Yet Aaron used his skills, his personality, and in becoming part with Moses, in allowing him and achieving what God wanted them to do. My dear friends, many times in our churches, there is this struggle. See, I can do this, so I should be in front. Or see, I can do this, so I should be leading this. See, I can do this. I should be the one who should do this. My dear friends, we need to understand that God has placed us wherever we are in our church community, in our church family, to achieve His great tasks. And not always to be the leader. Second thing that we learn from the story of Aaron is that he could not take his own stand. I don't think so. There was any other person in the whole people of Israel, in this huge number, who had seen Moses' walk with the Lord so closely, who was always in touch with Moses, knowing what God was communicating with him, who had experienced God's presence in that way. And yet, with all the experiences, all the things that he knew about, he gave in when people forced him to do things. Remember, it was the same Aaron who could stand boldly in front of Pharaoh and speak on behalf of Moses and God. But when he was facing his own people, he gave in to the pressures. How many times do we stand strongly in situations like this? How many times do we say, no, I know this is the truth. And I know this is what the Bible talks about. And I know this is what the Lord wants us to do. But instead of that, we just give in because people want us to do that. My dear friends, the story of Aaron is a great reminder for us that God can use us to achieve His great tasks that He wants to achieve through us. But it also strongly emphasizes the fact that we need to stand strong, knowing, believing that God is with us. Don't give in to the pressures that we face in the world.